Hey everyone, good morning. I'm really glad you made it here. So go ahead and set up, please, where you can sit comfortably. Bringing some space into the body. So already I'm recognizing the theme that I'm bringing in this week is understanding, recognizing repetition in our practice, how important how important repetition is. Even we could call kind of rituals that when you just bring yourself to your yoga mat, like how you place things, and maybe you've learned a lot over the years of just how to sit in a way that the body can kind of most effortlessly really sit upright. So go ahead and bring awareness to your spine. I've really been clearly doing this lately, like whether I'm doing yoga on my yoga mat or I'm going to my meditation cushion, that I'm aware of my body and feeling the spine. And when I feel strength in my spine, like everything else can relax. Once I have that strong, like flow of life through my spine, it really helps me. Like, then I can just let go of all the other tension. I can just let my face relax. Go ahead and just close your eyes. And then you might have that repetition of breath. So bring full awareness now to nice deep inhale. And then slow, full exhale, squeezing out, just getting into the repetition and even a steadiness, that you're controlling this nice, steady, deep breath. When we do something repeatedly over and over again, really like one of two things can happen in the mind, like in our experience. Once we start to get into a pattern, a repetitive pattern, the mind might go on autopilot. It might just like, oh, yeah, I've done this before, and then get less interested and start to get distracted. So, this really defines then what are we practicing here? Is that during this repetition, let's say just doing your breath work, that you're taking that full inhale, that complete exhale, that you're practicing getting more interested. And it really does. To me, it's almost like, oh, like I'm interested in just life. What's really going on in this moment? Now go ahead and just reach your arms out to the side. So some of the things that we do, like we'll do today, maybe you've done before. So just pay attention how the mind responds to that. Does it say like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this again," and then you start to feel that kind of little itch of, "I want to do something else. Can't we do something new?" So I've decided to turn a phrase here. We all know that phrase, "Same old, same old," and how like deadening that is, right? Yeah, how are things going? Yeah, same old, same old. Oh, it just makes my heart sink. So let's turn that phrase. Even if it's the same, we could say same new, same new. because that's what it is. It really is never the same. Let's bring the arms up. Take a big inhale. Lift up through your spine and then just reach your arms way out to the side as you exhale and bring your arms down. Just do 2 more of these. Just feel. Now we're practicing. We're bringing deeper awareness into the body. Really get in. What does it feel like to do this? Not only just the physical work of doing this, but the relaxing, like just letting the mind actually calm, because it's really letting go of the past, it's letting go of the future. That's a lot of letting go. And that you're just right here. Keep your throat really soft. So you can choose, like, I'm softening my throat. Now, next time that your arms come up, all the way up, you're going to just take a little twist to your right side. And as you're twisting, then your arms reach out again and they touch down. Now, stay here for a breath. Just twisting, just feel the elongation through your spine. And the next time you inhale, you come back up, you just go back to center. And then you twist to the other side. So when you exhale, you're in that little twist. And even just one breath here, just feeling into this twist. Let's do that just one more time each side. That you just inhale, you come back up. And then as you exhale, just that little bit of a twist. It's our first twist. Keep the neck really long. So shoulders are down. You might be moving at a completely different pace than me. Ah. Hmm. Good. And then as you let this go, as you just come back to the front, take the arms down again. And then just go ahead and bring your right arm up. So as you bring it up, you're just going into a stretch to the right side of the body. And here, just take a couple breaths. So when we're sitting, just at the beginning here, we're actually going to go through those 6 movements of the spine. So we did the twist to the right, the twist to the left. Now we're doing the lateral movement to the right side and then go to the left side. Just to get in, just to kind of initial awareness of how the spine feels, this little space to the left side. Practice getting interested in just understanding these are the 6 ways the spine moves and how it feels today. So as the arm comes down, you could remove if you're sitting on anything. So I'm going to drop down and just sit right on the floor. And you can stay in a cross-legged position. In fact, you could take your hands right on your knees and then pull your navel way in. Now, when my navel pulls in, I'm going to really scoop my tailbone under, and I'm kind of going to a cat pose. So this is flexion of the spine. Drop your head a little bit. Really pull your tailbone under, and in order to do that, you got to pull your navel in. And then you come back up. So push down into your sits bones and let your pelvis tilt. So now your pelvic bowl is really spilling forward, but then you lift your collarbones up. You pull your shoulder blades even together here. So here's our back bend, our extension. Now we got to lift up through the spine the whole time. And as we go and do this repeatedly, we're going to do a little rowing action. So you could keep your hands on your knees or reach the arms forward and then pull your navel in around your back. So now the shoulder blades are pulling apart. And then imagine that you're holding oars and you're going to row. So you're going to pull back like this, takes your shoulder blades together. Really lift up, pull your spine in. Good. And then releasing, just reach your fingers forward, pull your navel in, squeeze. So the inhale brings you up. The exhale goes back. Pull the navel in and just go back and forth. Inhale up and then that exhale releasing back. So the pelvis is really tilting, and you might even feel like your sits bones, you're kind of rocking to the back of your sits bones and then to the front of the sits bones, right? Now, as you're doing this, you could, like, I'm just going to let my legs switch. So I have my other leg in front, just for a little balance here. This big wave of movement. I'm even, doing just that right head movement, my chin that I'm like dropping down, lifting up. So I like to do this with my shoulders down the whole time. So rather than like pushing my shoulders up here, I'm gonna keep them down whole time. I can feel like my neck. Good. Okay, so as we come up, just take the hands down. Let's take soles of the feet together. So, some also define like there's a seventh movement of the spine. So this is just the axial elongation here, just right lifting up to the spine. So we could do that in Baddha Konasana here, soles of the feet together. You're reaching your knees way out to the side. Lifting up. So relaxing your face, just that deep strength in your spine. Good morning, hips. Now, as you let this go, you're going to go right onto your mat and just lay down. And as you lay down, go ahead and bring your arms and your legs up into the air. Okay, so it's basically like your arms and legs are upside down. And then just let your hands move around. As your hands circle around, you're really moving your wrists, and then your feet move around. So you can move your ankles and your toes, just get all those little joints moving. Deep breaths. Connect to your body. Good. And now your arms and your legs are going to shake. You can just, like, any way, just get them just shaking around. That sound is good too. Now go ahead and draw the right knee into the chest. Just pull that knee in. Extend the left leg straight up to the ceiling. And I like to even really pull my shoulders down here. So I'm not slouching as I'm laying on the floor, like wide across the chest. And then that left leg starts to lower down, but slowly, slowly. And then it very lightly touches. Keep your shoulders down. And then that left leg is going to lift back up. And just explore the lifting and lowering of the left leg. So it's a really basic movement. So what happens with repetition? Maybe as you're doing this, you could move deeper into the letting go of tension. Like I could really soften my lips here. As I almost get stronger with the action that I'm doing, more attentive. Good. Let's switch legs. Just bring left knee into the chest. Lengthen your spine here and reach your right leg up. So as you lengthen your spine, that might help to keep your shoulders down. Now really straighten the right leg. As you start to lower the right leg, it even gets longer and longer and longer. And the throat stays really relaxed. The breath is flowing. Good. And then the leg comes up and you explore the lifting and lowering of your right leg. So what happens is we get this more intimate experience, not only our body, but just with this whole present experience. This can be very helpful at any time to be very present. And as you let that go, you're going to bring both knees into the chest. Go ahead and lift your head a little bit here and then swing your legs. So you come back up to your seated pose. Take the legs a little wide apart. And get that lift up through your spine. Let's do back and forth where you just take your hands on one leg. You just reach down towards your foot. Press your fingers into your leg as you come back up. Maybe do that again. Just really press. Feel. Good. And then we just switch sides. Pressing. Even, feel that waking up, like of your circulation. Now, as you let this go, you bring the legs together. Let's go back down onto the elbows. So when you're on your elbows, you also lift your chest up. And here, start to do a bicycle motion with your legs while breathing, breathing, breathing. Go the other way, like you're pedaling backwards. Good. Now you're going to keep your heart really lifted here as you bring yourself up more towards the pose of Navasana or boat pose. So that means you lift up, keep your shins lifted. You might keep your hands down, but we got to lift the chest. If it feels wiser to hold your thighs here, you could do that. Now, kind of a slow motion, you're going to recline and take your legs out to the side, just wide apart. Go ahead, go back and just reach your legs out. Now the legs are strong. You might even control where the legs don't drop as low as they can go. Just be mindful of that, how far, spread apart the legs are here. Good. Now bring the legs together. Bend your knees and lift your head a little bit. So as we come back up to Navasana again. We just lift up wide across the chest and then kind of slowly back down and the legs go up to the side. Lengthen your spine here. Don't crumple your spine at all. We're going to do this again because with repetition, this practice is, that phrase, practice makes perfect. This is how we learn. So we bend the knees, lift your head, and then as you come up, just go right up. There's your Navasana. If you want to straighten your legs, you could do that. Even a little support of your legs. Good. Now you got to slowly go back down and then the legs go out to the side. I'm even taking my arms like out to the side, wide apart. Bend the knees, lift your head, bring the legs together, swinging one more up to your Navasana. You lift up. Just make sure like your mind can really calm here. If you straighten your legs and it's like, it's really stressful, you don't have to straighten your legs. So from here, we're going to cross your ankles and then just pull your feet in, like towards your butt. The hands go forward and you're going to unfold to your downward facing dog. So stepping back, the hands on the mat. You could even practice here, like lift one hand up a little bit. So you can place the weight on your hand very intentionally. You might feel like the grounding of the base of your fingers, the base of your thumb, but not so much jamming your wrist. So notice that weight distribution through your hands, even your finger bones are pressing down. As you look back to your feet, lifting your heels a little bit to lift your hips. So I know I'm kind of assuming, but you've probably done down dog before. And that's good because then, we have kind of a past history and you can really feel like, well, what's going on in my body today in my down dog? What could I learn? Good. Now, as you take your knees down, just touching knees back down and go back to your the shape of being on all fours. So on your hands and knees, take the knees closer together. And then we'll just do that repetition of lifting your right knee directly up out to the side. So I'm really lifting my knee and not so much like lifting my foot up. Okay. And then go to the other side. Just lift that left knee up, lower it down. And start to do this back and forth. So we could understand then also this practice of right effort. So I can tell, like I'm doing this wholeheartedly in a way my whole body is doing this. I'm keeping my arms straight. And I'm intentionally letting my breath really flow. And if you start to feel fatigue, you could start to smile. Like, oh, yep, there's that repetition, that strength, that fatigue that comes in when we're really working. Good. Now, as you go back to down dog, you might notice right away some completely different muscles that you use in your downward facing dog. Let this just slowly move to your plank. Straighten your elbows, straighten your knees. Lightly go back to your down dog, really lift up. So could you stay aware of where the weight is in your hands, even in your feet as you go back and forth? Plank pose, your down dog, there's kind of a lightness as you I don't know, I don't like using that word float, but it's a little floaty. And most of that, this graceful back and forth, is because like everything is orchestrated and working together. So even if you've done this before, just notice like it's fresh, it's new, like what's really happening today. Good. Let's come to standing. Just walk towards the center of your mat and come on up. Bring yourself up to standing. Reach your arms way out to the side. Press your shoulder blades on your back. Straighten your legs. It's getting tall. There's the spine. Good. Now, as you bring your arms down, you're going to move towards the front of the mat. So, one of my favorite movements, and this is going back a little bit to my slight obsession with the psoas lately. So, we're going to do that practice of moving to just our crescent pose. So let's take from the front of the mat. The arms could go to the side a little bit, so you already get that connection of your shoulder blades on your back and your chest a little bit lifted. Let's keep the right foot forward and step your left foot back. So the left toes are curled under, and you're straightening that left leg. Right knee is bent. Strong, grounded. Breathing here. The lightness around your throat. Strengthen your spine. From your tailbone, lift up to the crown of your head. Now you're going to lean forward a little bit and just do that smooth transition to tree pose on your right leg. So you're going to balance, balance, almost like just let your body go into its own tree pose today. So like where your left foot goes or where your arms go, you know, possibly even using a wall if it just you feel wobbly. And then that left foot is going to step right back. And you might do that in one step or like a couple steps just to get that position back to your crescent pose. Now your arms might stay out to the side or the arms could go up. Grounding, lift your navel up. Moving back to your tree pose. So let's just play with this repetition, going back and forth between these two poses. And you could really keep awareness around your heart. Just that kind of lightness around the heart and your feet, you know, because these are both balancing poses. We want to feel grounded, but a lightness around the heart. So what's happening in your body today? When you do these two, you know, talk about orchestration. In order to be kind of graceful and light, we have to be steady and very responsive, like how this feels in your body today. Notice the difference, just the energetic flow of being upright. And then what happens when you step that left foot back and that back leg really strong and straight? There's a little back bend in your crescent pose. Keeping the lips relaxed. So there's that soft smile, not taking this too seriously. Good. So we'll just give it a little rest. We'll just take, next time you step forward, you'll just move into mountain pose. Keeping the left foot forward as you step that right foot back, doing the other side. So practice wholeheartedly. Doing this is that it's a process of really awakening and being like kind of, the mind is kind of sparkly because you're here. You know, possibly as you're taking a deep breath, you're even sweeping away any kind of inner grumbling or inner complaining. You're just practicing. You're like, yeah. You might know, you like that phrase, you know, practice makes perfect. We might be very aware. This is not perfect. So, allowing that lightheartedness as we do this, you know, somewhat imperfectly, but we really start to hone in on what really works today. Like when you transition, you might take a few little steps up. Like, oh, in order to be grounded, I need to keep my both feet down for a little bit. And then move into my tree pose, you know. You want to have that ease of the mind. So as the body physically really wholeheartedly here, doing these two poses, studying them, the mind is calm. Back and forth. Waking up through your spine. You might feel like I'm really feeling my hips variety of movement through the hips, the lower back, the standing leg. You keep going back to that tree pose on the left leg. Yes, your arms really can go like wherever you want. You might explore different positions. Same new, same new. Good. Now, next time that you're going to step forward, you'll go back to your mountain pose. Tadasana, arms are down. I love this about mountain pose. It brings a lot of awareness to my shoulders and that intentional widening and opening across the chest. Grounding your heels, lifting up to the crown of your head. Tall as you can get. Good. Let's take palms together in front of the heart, moving through a little flow of sun salutation. The arms come up. The fresh perspective, move to your forward bend. So forward bend usually gives us a lot of sensations. So we get interested, like what's happening today? What does it feel like when you really straighten your legs here? Drop your head. Now move back to down dog. Staying grounded, reach your right leg up to your three-legged dog. So we're going to do a little repetition here. With your leg extended back, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, bend your right knee and pull it in towards your chest. Squeeze. And then you inhale, you reach your right leg back again. And then as you exhale, you pull your knee into your chest. Your shoulders, you might drift forward a little bit. Now move back and forth in your own pace. As you're doing this back and forth, just so you know, a good variation, if this feels like a little too intense for you, is to be on your hands and knees. Like you could still do that same action, but you just have your left knee down so that right leg is going extending back, and then it's pulling into your chest as you exhale. The squeeze. Keep moving, keep breathing here. Like even though there's fatigue or trembling, since we're so connected to the body, we might realize like, you know what, I'm okay. You know, I'm starting to get really warm, but I'm okay. Go ahead now, take the right foot down, touch your knees down, and just pause on all fours. You could stay here, you could briefly go back to a child pose. Either way. You can probably feel in your hands where you're pushing, like where the pressure was in your hands. So as we go to the left side, you might want to be more intentional, like pressing the base of your fingers down, like not just jamming your wrist, okay? So as you lift up, down dog, now you could stay here, go to three-legged dog, or if you want to do knees down, either way, left leg goes back, really reach back, spread your left toes. Inhale, and as you exhale, you pull that left knee in towards your chest. There's a squeeze. And then you inhale back. And just finding your own rhythm. Like as you do this repeatedly, really waking up the strength. Doing this fully, wholeheartedly. Now, in your own way, you're going to move right towards a plank pose. From your plank, make sure your legs are straight, arms are straight. Lower down onto your belly. Now, on your belly, legs reach back, really extend back, like you're moving the flesh on your thighs back. And then just start to lift towards a little cobra pose. As you're lifting a cobra, placing your hands just right so that you can draw your shoulders back. Now lower part way down out of your cobra pose and then lift up again. As you're lifting up, ground your pubic bone. So make sure there's that drawing down of your pubic bone, even your tailbone, pulling down. So next time you lower down, you're almost like your face touching the floor, but your face is hovering. Go ahead and lengthen and lift your legs. Now you can really use your glute muscles, use your buttock muscles to lift your legs up. And then reach your heart forward, maybe lifting a little higher into that cobra feeling. And then go ahead and lower your legs and your head almost all the way down. And then start with your glutes. Contract your butt muscles, lift up. Legs, head, shoulders, lower partway down. And then just do this repeatedly. As you're lifting up, it's initiated by the glutes. But the glutes really kind of wake up the whole back body, your back muscles. Even like all the way up, kind of lifting your head up. So you explore this by moving out of the pose, lifting back up, kind of an easeful action. The mind is relaxed. Good. Now move back to your down dogs. Lift up. Breathing gradually into your full down dog. You might even really start to reach your heels down. Deep into that calf stretch. So we're going to lightly touch the knees down and go ahead and step your right foot forward. So now as your right foot steps forward, you're going to go right to your crescent pose again. So the back foot tucks under, we start to lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. Now this time in crescent pose, your arms go way out to the side and we're going to go right into our twist. So just going to reach your right arm back, right arm back, right arm back, straighten left leg. Lightly right or left fingers might touch your right thigh. So very comfortable degree of twisting. As you let go of this, you just face the front Your hands come down, you go back to your down dog. Step back. Take a nice big breath. Feel that axial extension through the spine, that pulling. And then your knees lightly touch down. Your left foot steps forward. As it steps up, the back foot toes go under. Straighten right leg. Crescent pose, you lift up. Grounding. Lifting. There's that lift of your navel. The arms go out. And your little twist where you reach your left arm back. Stay stable. Let your right fingers maybe touch left thigh. Good. Now, as you let go of this, we're going to go ahead and drop your back foot down. So your right foot drops down. And you're going to rotate. So you're just facing the right. So now you're in a wide-legged position. So from here, we're going to just move into some nice, strong standing poses with some repetition. So we'll start with our wide-legged forward bend. Let's lift your toes a little bit here, okay? Just to feel the soles of the feet wide and open. Lift up through your legs. Even lift your chest up a little bit here. So can you feel almost like your kneecaps are pulling up? So keep your legs straight as you hinge in your hips. Lengthen your spine as you go over. Hands might just slide down your legs. Let yourself, nice and strong, lift up towards a flat back. Like you just lift up, the back muscles have to contract, and then fold all the way over. Do that again, lift up to your flat back. Imagine from your tailbone to the crown of your head, and then you go over. So lift your toes a little bit so you can feel the soles of your feet. So push down through your feet and come back up. So as you come up, you gotta kind of drop your tailbone down. Arms go to the side. Moving to warrior two on your right side. So you're going to open your right foot to the right. Start to bend your left knee. So, you know, in that name of repetition, I love to do this repeatedly. So straighten both legs. Really straighten. Strong. And then slowly bend that right knee to just reach, almost like your thigh bone is getting longer as it reaches out to the right. Straighten that leg again, bending. So that's pretty isolated movement. Bending and straightening just your right leg. So is your left knee bending? No. Can you start to free up your breath as you're doing this? You know, soften your throat and even really stabilize, grow that feeling of stability. Or the whole body really doing this. Good. Now, next time you bend that right knee, you're going to bend your right elbow also and extend out over that right thigh. Just lightly touch your forearm down right above your right knee. Now the top arm, left arm can reach up and it could even go like alongside your head. So from the soles of the feet nice and grounded, feel your whole body. Like the shoulder blades gonna press on the back here. Now just briefly, we're gonna go to a triangle pose. So that's back, that bottom right leg straightens. And then the arms just reach out to the side. Lengthen your spine. You might lift up kind of higher here. There to be that spaciousness. Go ahead and bend the right knee again. And as you come up, reverse warrior two. So you drop your left arm, right arm goes up. Keep bending the right knee directly out to the side. Nice big stretch for the right side. Warrior two. Bend the right elbow. Go back to, this is our Parsva Konasana. You have that right forearm down. Now you're not sinking at all. Lift the heart. Just reach the top arm. Alongside the head. Navel in. And then your triangle. You just start to straighten that bottom leg. Now both legs really straight. Feel your spine from your tailbone to crown of the head. Feet are grounding. We get to do this again. So bend the right knee. You come up. We're going to that reverse warrior. That left arm drops. The right arm comes up. Deep bend of right knee. Your right hip drops. Warrior two. Just reach your arms out to the side. Little smile here. You bend that right elbow, forearm touching down. Reach the top arm alongside your head. And your triangle. So yes, we're just kind of flowing between these poses, working on stability, and fluidity, and repetition. Come up, all the way up. Arms can come down. Now take your feet parallel. Maybe the feet a little bit closer together. So you could like lift your toes, get soles of the feet nice and open. Lift the front of the body. Pull up through your legs as you go to your forward bend. Whatever works, but it really is that energy, that lifting up through your legs here. So pushing into the feet, coming all the way up. And completely up. Like get that lift up. Arms go out and open left foot to your left. As you do that, we'll do our little warm up to position our alignment of our feet. Bend the left knee. Really reach that, like imagine that femur bone reaching out to the left. Straightening. Feel like both legs are straight. And then just the left knee. Now there is that deep strength through your spine as you're doing this. Bending and straightening of the left knee, that you have that, that support, that integrity of your spine. So that helps the mind really relax, or the feet being solid and grounded. Next time you bend that left knee, really deeply bend the knee and then lean out. Bend the left elbow so that left forearm just touches down lightly. Feet are grounded. That top arm reaching up, maybe alongside your head. Just kind of light here. The whole body doing this, working. Start to straighten that bottom leg. Triangle pose, so that bottom hand is touching the leg. Feel like, both legs straightening, spine lengthening. Space across your chest, space in your throat, and then you bend the left knee. And as you start to come up here, arms reaching out, but they kind of circle a little bit. So that right arm drops, the left arm comes up. Deeply bend the left knee. That revolved warrior two. Warrior two. You just reach the arms out to the side. Bending that left elbow. Extend out to the left. Lightly forearm touching, just reaching the top arm. Wherever it works, like be sensitive to your shoulders. Spine, strong, that kind of lightness here. Straighten the bottom leg. Explore. Triangle pose. Like, what does it feel like this time? Stable. Wide across the chest. Bending left knee to start to come up. Revolve warrior two. Drop right arm, left arm up. Present. Just be right here. Like you might be jumping into the future knowing, oh, I have to do this one more time. So we're right here. Warrior two. Just reach the arms. Bend that left elbow. Extend out. Just lightly touch. Forearm down, top arm up. Strong lift. Light heart. Triangle. You start to straighten the bottom leg. Wherever it works to touch. Open across the chest. Bend that left knee coming up. Revolve warrior two. Drop that right arm. Left arm up. Bend that left knee. And then warrior two. Go ahead and let go. So both legs straighten. Feet are parallel. Now, let's just step the feet together, just close together. And with your arms down at your sides, you're going to do just a little kind of a marching action. So just through the, after all that work you just did in the legs, just bringing this feeling just straight down through the feet. Now the spine does stay, lift it up. Strong, kind of tall. You can do this in any way, and you might even start to get this bigger, like your arms could swing. Good. So as you let this go, let the feet go a little bit wider apart and moving into our twist. Now make sure right at your breastbone stays lifted. So you look to one side, look to the other side, back and forth, arms just loose and swinging. Feel your feet. That I like to take my weight to like one foot, the other foot. So I'm going back and forth. Feel your spine twisting, twisting, twisting. Good. So as we let this go, we are going to move right down onto the floor. So let's take, we're going to do two poses on the back. We're going to be practicing the bridge pose, and we're going to do that number 4 pose, laying on the back. So why don't we go ahead and start with our bridge pose. So as you recline, whenever we do this, if you feel like you would rather do this pose with a little support of a block, that is the beauty of being online like this. that you can, do these things, slight variations of what I'm instructing. Now, arms are right down alongside you, your knees are bent, your feet are on the floor. Very aware of your shoulders and your shoulder blades. So, shoulders are grounding down. And then just start to push like straight down into your feet. So, where would your feet be that you could push straight down and start to lift your butt away from the floor? As you lift your butt away from the floor, though, there's that awareness of the shoulders, shoulder blades. Maybe they tuck under a little bit more. Tailbone draws up, lifting up. It's like right at the tip of the tailbone, pulls up, but keep grounding your feet straight down. Let the breastbone just really lightly lift up here. So just that right effort. There's no collapsing in your throat. Neck, the back of your neck will lengthen here. Good. Now slowly down. Very attentive. Slow all the way down. So can we do this then with that real softness of the face and the eyes? You might close your eyes as you push into your feet and lift up again. Lift the butt up as you're lifting. And, I mentioned the block. Like if you would rather be lifting up here and have some support, just stay with a supported bridge pose, you can do that. They are very different. I mean, if I'm using a block, I am not gaining that, strengthening of the back muscles, the glute muscles. So, yeah, stay with doing the work if that makes sense for you. Lowering down, and then you lift up again. So there's nothing like the repetition of this one. Lifting, maybe lifting a little higher. Like really lift your breastbone up. But if you lift your breastbone, you got to lift your tailbone again. Ground your feet straight down. Explore now. Next time that you lower out of this, maybe you lower just part way. That's a really great approach to repetition. So instead of like all the way down, you just do that little bit of respite and then you move back into it. It's a great way to learn about right effort. So you're kind of honing in on that pose that you can just hold for a little bit. So we breathe, we feel the upper back, that widening across your shoulders as your shoulders are grounding. The widening across your pectoral area. Notice what's happening at the soles of your feet. So keep doing this. This is your own little self-study. I mean, my wish is that this is a lot of work, but that we're totally free of that inner grumbling or the strain, just breathe and do the work wholeheartedly. Maybe next time you lower down, you can lower the whole way down. Just let your spine drop. And then just take the arms down. Make sure arms are out to the side here as we practice number 4 pose. So you're going to lift your right foot away from the floor and just cross your right leg over the left. So this means if you need to take a peek at what I'm doing, I just have my right shin crossing over my left thigh. So my right ankle area is just above my left knee. Keep your right ankle straight now. Keep the sides of the body lengthened and your spine lengthened as you start to lift your left foot away from the floor. This can be good at first. Like, just keep your arms down. Don't reach up and grab your legs. Rather, just keep lifting your left foot and drawing your right shin in towards your chest. Don't sink your heart. So keep that nice lift open across your chest. Maybe lower your left foot back down a bit and then lift it up again. So you're drawing that right shin in towards your chest. Now, if you want to, you can thread your hands through and grab your left thigh and assist. You're just drawing that left thigh in, therefore drawing your right shin towards your chest. Breathing, feeling like you do not want to, though, be slouching. Like, you don't want to lift your shoulders. Like, really keep your shoulders down. Good. And then just releasing, that left foot comes down, the right foot comes down, and we'll switch sides. So taking that left foot up, the left shin crosses over the right thigh. Lengthen the sides of the body. And again, arms might just stay out to the side as you lift your right foot away from the floor. And as you really lift your right foot, you're going to be drawing your left shin in towards your chest. But then kind of back off, just drop your right foot back down. And then lift it again, just playing with this number 4 position. And, of course, like how that feels in your left hip. Keep the chest lifted. Try not to sink your chest down. In a way, your spine is slightly lifting up away from the floor here. Now, if you want to reach through, grab your right thigh and drawing that left shin in towards your chest, you can do that. Good. Now, as you release, that right foot comes down, the left foot comes down. And again, just reach your arms out to the side. And with your feet are still on your mat, so walk your feet wider apart. Let's do Shavasana Preparation. Let your knees drop over to the right side. Just let the knees really flop over. Breathe to your belly. And then the legs, just even one at a time, go up and over to the left. Nice deep breath as you let the legs just go back and forth. You might let your head kind of rock back and forth. So already the body, like as you go back and forth here, it's almost like the body is kind of nestling into the earth. Like you might imagine that you're laying on the beach, and you're in the sand and you're just letting that kind of sink in. Make sure the breath kind of sweeping to your belly. So you're, that belly area, it's so easy to hold tension there. Soft belly. Mindfully now moving into Shavasana. So please give yourself this time staying for Shavasana and practicing wholeheartedly. It's almost like now we're really moving into seclusion, kind of moving into our retreat time, positioning the body so that you can be completely still. So, even though the body is not moving in this pose, um, the repetition that we do here is more of a remembering that we're here. You might notice it's really easy to be distracted. So, like, oh, yeah, that repetition, I'm coming back. So, as you close your eyes, notice that initial melting, like just sink, let go of the whole body right here. So, we're going to move through a body scan. And this is a wonderful way through repetition to just keep coming back. So start by bringing your full attention to your forehead, knowing I'm aware of my forehead. Bring awareness to your lips. Notice like a coming back. Okay, I'm here fully, my lips. Bring awareness to your throat, space at your throat. Aware of the back of your neck. Be aware of your right shoulder. Your right elbow. Right wrist. Aware of the right palm of your hand. Your right fingers. Bring awareness to your whole right arm. Your throat. Your left shoulder. Your left elbow. Aware of your left wrist. The left palm of your hand. Left fingers. Your whole left arm. Aware of your throat. The center of your chest. your navel, be aware of the center of your pelvis, your pelvic floor, your right hip, your right knee, your right ankle, the right sole of your foot, right toes, be aware of your whole right leg, your navel, your left hip, your left knee, your left ankle, left sole of the foot, left toes, aware of your whole left leg, bring awareness now to your whole body, possibly take one hand on your belly, take one hand around your heart. Being with yourself. How sensitive the belly is. Sensitive the heart is. And as we continue doing this work now, just notice if you have any intention or any kind words you could say to yourself. See your own goodness. So as you come out of Shavasana, as you come out of corpse pose, and come back up to seated, really, in a way, we're just reconnecting with life. And we could locate that like in our spine. There's that flow of life that moves from the depths in the body all the way to our consciousness. So may we stay connected to our own heart, to our values, taking palms together in front of the heart. And as we do this, may all beings benefit. Close with the sound of Om. Take a deep inhale. With gratitude, thank you everyone for practicing. Whether you're right here in the live stream, maybe you're listening to this in the future, thank you for stopping and doing this work so much. Upcoming, I'll just mention today is Friday, and so there is class tomorrow morning, the 2-hour class. The 2-hour class really is for everyone. If it sounds daunting, yeah, I mean, if you survived this, you could do it. I know it's a little commitment. It's a little, why I call it a mini retreat. So that class, if you want to attend, you can always find the link for it because it's a Zoom link on my website. And that's at boleryoga.com, BOLER, boleryoga.com. So I wish you a really wonderful rest of the day. Yeah, keeping heart open and sensitive. Yeah, feel free to leave a little comment in the chat. It's always wonderful to hear from people, and so many ways, that I can really sense the feeling of people practicing, and um, of course, continue to reach out, connect with me. You can send me an email. Um, at nancy@boleryoga.com if you want to do that. I do have a a retreat that's coming up. I'm offering an online retreat in January from January 14th to the 17th. Now, so far, I've only announced that in my group email. So, yeah, if you want information on that, if you're not on my email list, just let me know. Send me a little email at nancy@boleryoga.com. It's pretty easy. Um, same new, right? Nice to see everyone. Wishing you a wonderful practice, everyone. See you next time.